What's going on, traders? Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is September 2nd, 2021. We are still in the beginning of the month. Today we're going to talk about the price action in the headline indices. We'll go under the hood. We'll check out our sectors and style factors. We'll go through some of my trades for today. I had pretty light trading volume overall. Before we jump into that, quick risk disclaimer: nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but certainly not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades or anyone's trades for that matter. All right, let's jump into the video. Okay, so box scores for today. We had the S&P 500 as measured by the SPY finish up 0.31%. We had the NASDAQ QQQ, only red index on the day, down 0.05%, down just a smidge. We had the IWM small caps leading us higher, up 0.69%. And we had the Dow Jones finishing up 0.37%. One thing to note is that we had strong breadth in all of the indices. There were times throughout the day where the QQQ was a little off, sub 50, but overall we have a really nice, pretty much everything rally into tomorrow's NFP report. So let's take a look. We'll check out some of these indices. So S&P 500, let's jump over to that one first. S&P 500, up 0.32%, and this is day 1, 2, 3 of sideways consolidation after putting in a really nice 2-day move. At this point, the 5-day exponential moving average has caught up to price, but we are still a bit extended from that 20-day simple moving average. So logical upside target for tomorrow or the coming days, if the NFP numbers come out, what the market is looking for, I think the market is really looking for a Goldilocks number. And what I mean by that is the number is decent, but it's not so good that, the taper will start. And I think what's happening is it's kind of weird because when the market first learned about the taper and the Federal Reserve put it on the table as, hey, this is going to be happening, essentially get used to it, it's on the table. I noticed everyone was buying put options. We always had these elevated put to call ratios. It just seemed like there was a lot of hesitation and we were climbing that wall of worry. Once we got to Jackson Hole and Jerome Powell laid out the path to tapering, then it just became, much more risk on. I see a lot less put buying and much more call buying. And it just seems like market participants are becoming much more aggressive. So we'll have to see that. That actually leads to a very interesting setup for tomorrow, where it almost seems like, depending on the number, we could have some market participants that are a bit offside. So for that reason, I didn't want to add any additional risk to the portfolio. I was like, you know what, I'm comfortable with what I have on. So that's that. Basically, I had a pretty fantastic day yesterday. So for today, I was basically in cruise control. So let's check out, that is our S&P 500. Let's look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ looks a little bit different. So again, we're getting these nice just consolidation candles. Note 2 out of 3 of these are slightly red candles. What I noticed was when I look at this hourly chart, so today we lost the 20-hour moving average, and we also lost the 50-hour moving average. And what's very interesting about what's happening with the Qs is that, we are consolidating for a couple days, but we do have some pretty poor structure, where you can see we're still very extended from this weekly value area. So if we start to dip a little bit more, my cat's just walking across my screen right now, so I'm just petting her a little bit. But if we start to dip a little bit more, basically what this is telling you is this is where the majority of market participants transacted last week. So what that means is everyone that bought the NASDAQ is sitting on a really nice healthy gain. What happens as we start to pull in a little bit? I would imagine some of these players that bought in here, they want to defend their profit. So we'll have to see what happens into tomorrow's NFP report with the NASDAQ. I actually took a lottery short position on the NASDAQ. I took one target in it, but pretty small position, but we'll see what happens. And then Russell 2000. Russell 2000 is showing some nice relative strength. So let's check this out. It's trading above value. We had a nice little consolidation period. Now we're popping out of it. We have this R1 pivot level all the way up at 23.46. Now let's actually zoom out to the weekly chart so you can see the big picture. So in the big picture, we're nearing the upper end of this recent range for the small caps. So I think the real question is, are these small caps going to blast out to a new high? And I think that would make for like the ultimate sort of like blow off ahead of the Fed taper if small caps just, ripped everyone's faces off. Because remember, everyone was pretty much short the small caps as of a couple of weeks ago. And then the Dow Jones actually had like a decent relative strength day today. So let's actually go through that one. Yeah, Dow Jones just can't seem to get it done above this monthly value area. It's really just, kind of stuck in the mud, not really moving anywhere. Yeah, you can see we tagged this 20-day moving average, and yeah, we're getting stuck at that monthly value area high at 35,455. All right, so let's take a deeper look. We're going to go under the hood. We'll check out our FinViz heat map. And yeah, so what I'm seeing here is, some of these mega cap tech names, they're very overbought, which is what it is. And so some of these came in a little bit. So like Google and Facebook had pullbacks, but other than that, we had very strong market breadth. So let's take a look at those two names, and we'll just go through each of these FANG names. So let me see, I'm going to pull them up right here. So we'll look at Google. This one has been an awesome long. And yeah, Google down 1.11%. I believe there was like an antitrust case that came out against Google. So now, yeah, you have 3 days of buyers that are now underwater, and we're still extended from that 20-day moving average. So could Google have a pullback to the 20-day? Absolutely. And this candle, certainly doesn't inspire confidence for the time being. And then let's check out Facebook. Facebook, yeah, this one also, down 1.77%, also a bit of like a bearish engulfing candle in the last 2 days of price action. So we'll see if this one, if we get our pullback to the 20-day. But it's interesting how the market works. Like when these things are extended, it feels like they're never going to pull back to the 20-day. But every single asset, pulls back to the 20-day all the time. And then when it pulls back to the 20-day, it feels like it's never going to bounce, back to those new highs. So it's just very interesting how it all works in the market. And then one of the most interesting names, I think, within these FANG stocks is Tesla. So Tesla had 3 days of tight action, including today. And, Tesla's been on a nice sequence. We cleared out of this pivot area over here. And yeah, this is pretty good. 3 days of just moving sideways. If the NFP numbers come out just, nice and Goldilocks tomorrow and we get a nice move to the upside in the market, I will definitely be looking at Tesla to see if, that one actually breaks out of this little consolidation area over here. All right, let's check out our sectors. We'll go to our style factors as well. Okay, so sectors. These are ranked in terms of momentum. And it's pretty crazy what can happen to your portfolio when you're in the areas of the market that have the most momentum. So blockchain assets were up 1.47% today. We had KWeb taking a bit of a break, down 1.21%, but it's been on a tear for the past couple days. So that's to be expected. Basically, this is like, all those people that FOMO'd in at the highs yesterday, now they're getting sort of, they're getting pushed underwater. I'm sure a lot of them got shaken out today. Now let's take a look at what else was strong. So, wow, the 3D printing ETF was up 1.69%. That is pretty unusual. We had the SPAC ETF up 1.48%. We had energy up 2.54%. So yeah, nice participation across the board. And then we'll check out our style factors. Style factors. Best performing style factor was high div, low vol, which is kind of odd. And then, the size style factor, which basically means small caps. And I see high beta as well. So yeah, definitely a pretty broad rally in the indices. All right, let's take a look at some of my trades for today. And again, I came in with the mindset of, okay, yesterday was pretty crazy. Today, I'm not going to go and start adding swings like ahead of the NFP report. Because the NFP report, real quick, what that's going to influence in a big way. I used to work on a fixed income trading desk, and every month, the NFP numbers were a big deal. And we would have a little contest, in the office. Everyone would guess the NFP number. And it's not like anybody had an edge in it. It's literally just, you're taking a guess. So that's what made it so much fun. And then whoever, got the closest to what the actual number came out to be, they won for, that month. Because it always comes out the first Friday of the month. And yeah, so right now with the 10-year Treasury futures, we're sitting at the bottom of value. So if this number tomorrow comes out very strong, which I don't think anyone's really accounting for, maybe everyone just knows it's going to come out a little bit weaker. So that could be the case. But yeah, if it comes out a little bit strong, what's likely going to happen? I would imagine the 10-year Treasury is going to lose this value area low. We're already so close to it. And we're below the key moving averages in the 10-year Treasury futures as well. If that were to happen, what's going to happen to the NASDAQ? So that's why I put on a lotto trade. So I'll show you what I did for today. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so we'll take a look. We'll go options first. So for options, I was basically saying I'm gonna try to stay disciplined, whatever. I did take one trade that I tried to scalp. Basically I closed out a huge winner in Futu yesterday. And so I was I'll try to scalp this one. So I entered it for 584, ended up stopping out for 530. It did look like there were some active sellers in Futu today. And this one tagged the upper Bollinger Band. So that's kind of to be expected, where you have some sellers that step in. And then I also, the only other thing I traded was the Qs. So I got long some November 380 puts in the Qs for 1275. And it's one of those things where don't buy the protection, when you need to, buy it when you can, essentially, when nobody really wants it. So took those long. And then I had some Qs puts from yesterday that I started to monetize today. So at 233, I closed a third of them for 456. I'd paid 412. Closed out the remainder for a very small winner, 432. I'd paid 412. And then I got long some lotto puts. So I was basically hey, if tomorrow the jobs number comes out and it surprises everyone, let me just put on a small lotto trade to benefit from that. So I got long these Qs puts. They expire tomorrow. The 380 strikes for $1.21. And I just put size for max loss, using as a hedge on the jobs report. And then into the close, I did close out a fourth of it. So it's even though this is a hedge, even though I sized it for a 0, I closed out a fourth of it for $1.35. I'd paid 121. So I was hey, if I can take a quick 10% gain, 10+%, I was why not? Makes my risk even smaller for tomorrow. That way, it's very likely that the jobs report comes out and then we just bust out of that consolidation as well. Anything can really happen. So I was yeah, I'll just make this thing even smaller, because I really don't want that to be just dampener on the day tomorrow. If it's oh, then everything just exploded. That can certainly happen. So we'll see. Another thing that I was looking at pretty closely today was the CBOE option statistics. So let's check these out. This was the other thing that just struck me as a little odd. So I just noticed investors were just blowing their brains out on call options today. And that's, you could see that as that's super bullish, everyone's buying calls. But I've just noticed the level of put buying has gone down significantly over the past 2 weeks. And today you can see pretty much throughout the whole session, very muted put to call ratio. So I was it seems everyone's coming in with these happy expectations for the numbers. So it might happen, but yeah, just in case it doesn't happen, I was I'm just not going to take on any risk or whatever. And then yeah, with a lot of these crypto names, the crypto move is sort of continuing. I'm actually surprised we didn't get a pullback in Ethereum. So Ethereum is, as of right now, as of this recording, it's up 0.72%. So that would be incredibly bullish. If this thing doesn't even pull back and it just consolidates in time, that would be insane. I'm not really expecting that though. So we'll see. I'm prepared for a pullback to the 20-day. Just going to make sure to not do anything crazy, not panic sell out of my position or anything like that. And then Oh yeah, last I forgot about this common stock trade. See, I closed out half of my remaining DigitalOcean shares for 64.44. I'd paid 51.02 for those. See, DigitalOcean, check this out. This company, I really think it's awesome. When we hit this upward trend line, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, so I just sold off some for a little bit higher than where it closed, which is good. And then who knows? I mean, maybe we get a pullback to the 20-day. Like this thing, like I said, you know, it pulls back to the 20-day all the time. So I would kind of kick myself if I didn't at least like take a target up here. But yeah, still looking really nice. And there were a lot of names that were doing very well today. So it always takes some willpower to be like, no, I'm not going to add new swing trades. But I've just been doing this for so long that I know what it's like where you just never take any profits and you're just adding new swings every single day. And then you can really set yourself up for like a knockout punch. So I was like, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to put anything on today. So Unity, this one, really nice mover. We have this nice consolidation. We were kind of climbing up to that pivot point. We moved right through. Apps. Shout out to AJ in the Pristine Capital trading community. He pointed this one out, you know, after the close. Apps is looking pretty awesome here. So it's being added to the mid-cap 400 index for the S&P. And ever since that announcement, it's had this really nice move to the upside. And now it is above all the key moving averages. So yeah, looking really solid. So yeah, we had apps with a nice move. Then another one that really stuck out to me was this Intelia. And this is a name I'm long in the trend portfolio. Yeah, Intelia, I guess it didn't close like super strong, but yeah, it closed pretty much above this pivot. So this thing, you know, they announced like they had some crazy like drug that was coming out. And this one is just consolidated for a couple months. When this thing explodes out, you know, it could have a nice move. Look at the weekly chart. This looks so elegant. You know, it's kind of funny when you look at price action like all day, every day, you can really like appreciate a nice chart. Like when it just has like that pattern, you're like, oh my God, it just looks amazing. You know what I mean? You can really have appreciation for it. So yeah, Intelia, this looks great. Let's take a quick look. Before we break, I'm going to pull up our VigTech options race. Let's see, today's combined flows. All right, so let's check it out. So we had Tesla in the lead for most of the day. Oh, Tesla's still in the lead. Let's see. Wow, Tesla really just took over. Jeez. And then this was a name that really came out of left field. I started seeing the flow come down for BlackRock. And I was like, BlackRock, I never see anyone buying call options on BlackRock. So this is another one that, you know, I'm going to add it to my radar because I'm like, why are they positioning so much in it? Look, this will be the last chart that we go through, but BlackRock, boom. It's in a really nice trend, definitely. Really nice trend. This is the world's largest asset manager. So my old employer, Vanguard was BlackRock's, you know, biggest competitor, but we actually used BlackRock's portfolio management software on the fixed income side. It's called Aladdin. It is such beautiful software. It works so well. So yeah, BlackRock is just like, I have so much respect for them. I hold BlackRock as one of the largest positions in the trend portfolio for that reason. But yeah, this thing, definitely going to keep an eye on it in the coming days. It's already had a very nice move. With that being said, that about does it for today's market recap. Thank you so much for listening. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff, and I will see you all tomorrow.